Hi, Dyslexic Genius here, Brett Hurt. I'm going to talk about an opera, and it came in with a flutter, and I tuned the motor up and did a bunch of adjustments on the machine. One was the governor, I got the tick out of it. But what I'm going to show you is how to oil your Edison Opera. I pre-oiled everything. I wiped everything down before I oiled, and I'm going to use my screwdriver right here for the oiling. First of all, there's a slot under here that the carriage rides in, and what you need to do is take a little bit of paper towel like this, and you're going to come in here with a screwdriver and stick it in the slot like this and clean it out like that. Then you'll move the carriage over and get on the other side like that, and a bunch of dirt will come out. What you want to do is you want to oil an opera while it's running. I use the sewing machine oil, but my screwdriver is the oiler right now. So you're going to turn it on, and you're going to put one little drop at the end of this bearing. You're going to put a drop here in this hole, a drop here in this hole, and a drop here in this hole. And that oils the bearing. You also want to look at this flywheel and make sure that the wire is in here where my finger is, if you can see this, right here.
Yeah, I can see it.
Right. So now what you're going to do is you're going to put, there's a bearing here and a bearing here in this casting, and you're going to put a little drop of oil right there where my screwdriver is under this oiling tube system. You're going to put a little drop of oil here. Then we're going to come over, and I'm going to do the end of the bearing. I'm going to do this felt piece and this felt piece under here. We're not going to do the break right here. And then we're going to come back and we're going to get the end of this bearing. Now we have another bearing underneath. Down in here, and we're going to put a little drop of oil there. And then we're going to come around and we're going to put a little drop of oil, this casting right here. Now we're going to do the back rod. You can see I have some oil in here. I've wiped everything down, so you're going to put a drop of oil between the screw marks, these lines. And then you'll come back and do here and here. The rail, you're going to put like 1, 2, 3 there, and that's going to run perfectly well. That's everything on the top end. Now what you're going to do is you're going to turn it around. And you can have somebody help you do this if you don't have the stands I make. You're going to put a little drop of oil here on the winding crank and a little drop of oil down here on the winding crank. And then you're going to do James Bond, and you're going to shake it, not stir it, so the oil goes into the casting. Then what you're going to do is you're going to lay it on its side gently, and you will come around and you will put a drop of oil here. You will put a drop of oil here. Then you will turn the motor on and bring it around.
Bring what around?
Bring the spring barrel around, and you'll see a hole, and you will put a drop of oil here for the shaft that goes through the spring barrels. While you have it on its side, you'll put a drop of oil there and a drop of oil there. And these have bearings like Triumphs. You'll put a wee drop here on the other end of the bearing and a wee drop in here. And that'll seep in. Then when you turn it on, it's running really smooth. The last thing we're going to oil is the lead screw. And I'm going to use super lube on the lead screw. And I'm just going to put a drop, a couple of drops. You don't need a lot on this. And you're going to turn the phonograph on, and you'll just rub this in. Turn it
What are
off.
these holes for?
This hole?
Yeah.
That hole is for an oiling cup, and all operas are missing those. Originally, your opera came with those, and that keeps the dust out of everything. On the two top castings, you have these little holes too on top, and this fits in there, just like that.
Okay.
It'll pop down. That's an oiling cup. You're going to slide this back. You can put a little on your finger. You have to come around to the front of the machine. And then we'll work that in. Then you're going to come back in, and you're going to put a drop of oil at the end of the lead screw right here, where this goes. It's under the mandrel. And you will come back, and we already oiled that end piece.
What end piece? I missed it.
Back here under here earlier, I was showing you how to oil this, because we oiled the bearing of the end of the lead screw that's all in this gear train right here. On operas, you have this screw. And this screw holds the reproducer in place. But what happens is people get too aggressive, and you can see this indentation right here. That makes a burr out. So then it's hard to get your reproducer in and out of the casting. So you just take like a small file and just gently take that burr out. And you will slide the reproducer in, picking up the end part of the reproducer so it goes on the lift lever right here where my finger is. And that'll come in. You line up the little notch here. It goes, see how easy that is? And then you just gently do that. Now what you do, all this work, you're going to turn it on. When you run an opera, this is the on-off switch, and this switch here engages the carriage. You'll just push this down.
I thought that I never could be sentimental. Poetry to me was an awful bore. I left as those who made love in the moonlight.
That sounds crystal clear to me, and I don't hear any flutters in the background at all. I love operas. We personally own one, and that's my tip for the day.